Hello and welcome to Beyond the Continent. My name is Mazino Pil. Now here are news stories making headlines beyond the continent. Now, U.S. President Donald Trump has imposed a 10% tariff on all imports into the United States, with even steeper rates for what he deems the worst offenders. The move has sent shockwaves worldwide, with the European Union calling it a major blow to the world economy, while China threatens retaliation. Australia's government has expressed disappointment, stating this is not the act of a friend. UK leader Keir Starmer acknowledged the economic impact, vowing a measured response. For decades, Trump has championed tariffs as a tool to strengthen the U.S. economy, now betting his presidency on it. The announcement caused markets to drop globally, with slight recoveries later.
But we will charge them approximately half of what they are and have been charging us. So the tariffs will be not a full reciprocal. I could have done that, yes, but it would have been tough for a lot of countries who didn't want to do that. If you look at Switzerland, 61% to 31%, Indonesia, Malaysia, Cambodia, oh, look at Cambodia, 97%. We're going to bring it down to 49. They made a fortune with the United States of America. United Kingdom, 10%, and we'll go 10%. So we'll do the same thing. South Africa, 60%, 30%. Brazil, 10%, 10%. Bangladesh is 74%. So you see what's going on. Pakistan, 58%. Sri Lanka, 88%. My fellow Americans, this is Liberation Day. Waiting for a long time. April 2nd, 2025 will forever be remembered as the day American industry was reborn, the day America's destiny was reclaimed, and the day that we began to make America wealthy again. Foreign leaders have stolen our jobs, foreign cheaters have ransacked our factories, and foreign scavengers have torn apart our once beautiful American dream.
Now, in response to U.S. President Donald Trump's tariffs, Canada has imposed a 25% tariff on certain vehicles imported from the United States. Prime Minister Mark Carney announced that the tariffs would apply to all vehicles not compliant with the USMCA, the North American Free Trade Agreement. While Carney did not provide specifics on how many vehicles would be impacted, he described Canada's retaliation as focused and calibrated, suggesting that the action is targeted and carefully measured. The move comes after the U.S. tariffs, which took effect Thursday, raised tensions between the two countries, particularly in the automotive sector.
Today I'm announcing that the Government of Canada will be responding by matching the U.S. approach, with 25% tariffs on all vehicles imported from the United States that are not compliant with CUSMA, our North American Free Trade Agreement, and on the non-Canadian content of CUSMA-compliant vehicles from the United States as well. Our tariffs, though, unlike the U.S. tariffs, will not affect auto parts because we know the benefits of our integrated production system. And they will also not affect vehicle content from Mexico, who is respecting.
French President Emmanuel Macron warned that the new tariffs announced by U.S. President Donald Trump will have a massive impact on all sectors of the economy and Europe's exports. Speaking during a meeting with industry leaders at the Élysée Palace, Macron emphasized the broad-reaching consequences these tariffs could have on European exports in various sectors. The tariffs, which were revealed on Wednesday, have raised concerns across Europe, with many industries fearing disruptions to supply chains and export markets. Macron's comments highlights the ongoing tension between the US and Europe over trade policies.
On va avoir 20% de tarifs pour tous les secteurs, sauf aluminium, acier, automobile qui sont déjà à 25%, et pharmacie, bois et semi-conducteurs sur lesquels les annonces vont suivre, mais qui seront vraisemblablement au moins à 25%. Et donc, on le voit bien, c'est un impact massif qui va toucher tous les secteurs de l'économie et de l'export européen. Alors, avec un enjeu pour la France qui est plus limité que pour certains autres pays, enfin qui est là, et qui, pour certaines filières, va être massif.
The elected head of the French Bishops' Conference, Cardinal Jean-Marc Aveline, has called for a serious review of Catholic education within the Church. Speaking at a press conference in Lourdes, Aveline highlighted the ongoing investigation into the Betharam case, where over 150 complaints of violence, sexual assault, and rape have been reported at the Notre Dame de Betharam Catholic School near Pau. The case has brought significant attention to issues of abuse within church-run institutions. French Prime Minister François Bayrou, who has been the mayor of Pau since 2014, is also connected to the town where the school is located.
À laquelle on est affronté avec Betharam et d'autres endroits, nous révèle aussi qu'il y a, du point de vue des structures, des choses à faire évoluer, indépendamment de la question des abus, mais il y a des choses à faire évoluer du lien entre l'enseignement catholique et l'Église. L'enseignement catholique est dans l'Église, bien sûr, mais du point de vue des structures, on a pas mal de choses, et ça concerne aussi d'autres questions. Pour moi, ça révèle ça. Donc je pense, quand on en aura parlé évidemment, mais je pense qu'il faudra qu'on encourage sérieusement une révision de la façon dont nous travaillons en Église avec l'enseignement catholique.
When we return, Benjamin Netanyahu praises Hungary's decision to leave the ICC. Stay with us for the details. You're welcome back. Now we head to North America, where Mexican Economy Secretary Marcelo Ebrard has confirmed that the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement remains intact despite the latest round of tariffs imposed by U.S. President Donald Trump. In a recent statement, Ebrard described the maintenance of the deal as a major achievement, urging that it should not be taken for granted. He emphasized that Mexico would continue to seek the best conditions for bilateral trade, particularly in sectors such as automobile, steel, and aluminium. This comes at a time when many are concerned about the growing tensions in U.S.-Mexico trade relationships, as the tariffs could potentially strain industries that rely heavily on cross-border supply chains. Ebrard's remarks aims to reassure both domestic industries and international partners.
Se mantiene. Eso es un logro mayor. No lo demos por sentado, porque en un nuevo orden comercial fundado en tarifas es muy difícil que sobreviva un tratado de libre comercio. Por ciento, la meta nuestra en los próximos 40 días es lograr las mejores condiciones de entre todos los países del mundo en materia de industria automotriz. Lo mismo para acero y aluminio.
Denmark's Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen has arrived in Nuuk, Greenland, to begin a visit aimed at strengthening unity between Denmark and the autonomous territory. The visit comes at a time of heightened tensions between Denmark and the United States, with U.S. President Donald Trump recently challenging Denmark's sovereignty over Greenland and imposing tariffs on Europe. Frederiksen's trip seeks to reassure Greenland of Denmark's commitment to its autonomy, while also addressing growing concerns about the strategic importance of the island, which Trump previously expressed interest in acquiring. The visit underscores the growing geopolitical challenges in the Arctic region. Now, Hungary says it is withdrawing from International Criminal Court as Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu arrives in the country. Netanyahu's visit to Hungary marks the first time the Israeli leader stepped foot on European soil since the ICC issued an arrest warrant against him in May 2024. The court said it had reasonable grounds to believe Netanyahu bears criminal responsibility for war crimes including starvation as a method of warfare and the crimes against humanity of murder, persecution, and other inhumane acts. The ICC doesn't have its own law enforcement powers, so it relies on its member states to make arrests and transfer suspects to The Hague. As a signatory, Hungary is obliged to arrest Netanyahu. If it goes through with the withdrawal, Hungary will become the only European country, or rather union country, not to be part of the ICC. Israel is not part of the court alongside the United States, China, Russia, Saudi Arabia, and other countries. And Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has praised Hungary's decision to withdraw from the International Criminal Court as he visits Budapest. Speaking at a joint press conference with Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán, Netanyahu thanked Orbán for what he called a bold and principled stance on the ICC. This visit comes despite an active ICC arrest warrant against Netanyahu related to alleged war crimes in Gaza.
In your leadership, have done remarkable things for Israel and the Jewish people. You support Israel proudly, unstintingly. You stand with us at the EU. You stand with us at the UN. And you've just taken a bold and principled position on the ICC, and I thank you, Victor. This is not only important for us, it's important for all democracies. It's important to stand up to this corrupt organization.
Let's go on a short break. We have more Beyond the Continent. Welcome back. Now, a man set himself and his car on fire earlier on Thursday in a busy square in Amsterdam. Witnesses say they heard loud screams before flames erupted and people fled the area. Emergency services rushed to the scene, quickly working to put out the fire and assist the man. Authorities are investigating the reasons behind the tragic act while the injured man was taken to the hospital and placed under police arrest. Police have cordoned off the square to gather evidence and ensure public safety. Local residents are shaken by the incident, expressing their shock and concern. The police have urged anyone with information to come forward. More updates will follow as the investigation continues. Now, 9 migrants have died and another 25 rescued on Thursday after their boat started sinking off the western coast of Turkey. The local governor's office and the Coast Guard said that the incident took place off the coast of Ayvasik district. The nationalities of the casualty were not immediately known. On the same day, 7 people, including 3 children, died and 23 others were rescued when an inflatable boat carrying migrants capsized off the Greek island of Lesbos. Following an overnight Israeli airstrike on Khan Yunis in southern Gaza, wounded Palestinians were rushed to Nasser Hospital while families mourned their loved ones. The Palestinian Health Ministry in Gaza confirmed that 1,163 people have been killed since Israel resumed large-scale airstrikes on March 18. The latest toll reports 97 deaths in just the past 24 hours. The situation remains dire as the conflict escalates, with the humanitarian crisis deepening by the day.
ولعت عندي خيمتين، ولعت الخيمة الأولى والخيمة الثانية كنا نايمين فيها. اندفنا طلعنا صرت أنادي على جوزي، نمت فوق ولادي، هجع عمود بطون على ظهري، قمت عمود البطون ورحت أنادي على جوزي ما لقيتوش مستشهد. وأنا طلعت ولادي من النار ومن الردم نايمين ولا طلعنا في الحرب ولا في الدنيا كلها. 5 معايا نايمين جنبه.
ما شفنا غير انفجار ضخم جدا والانفجار هذا ما لقيناه إلا في المكان مبنى وجنبه خيم في ناس نازحة يعني طبعا.
The leader of Myanmar's junta, Min Aung Hlaing, has arrived in Thailand for a regional summit, even as his own country struggles with the devastating aftermath of an earthquake that has killed thousands. News Central's international correspondent, Afia Hagen, has the details.
The earthquake that struck central Myanmar last Friday has left a trail of destruction and death. According to the junta, over 3,000 people have died, more than 4,700 are injured, and hundreds remain missing. Authorities fear the death toll will continue to rise as many areas remain inaccessible. Despite the crisis at home, Myanmar's military leader Min Aung Hlaing arrived in Bangkok to attend a regional summit involving countries bordering the Bay of Bengal. His presence at the summit is unusual, as sanctioned leaders are typically barred from such gatherings. The summit, hosted by Thailand, includes leaders from Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Nepal and Sri Lanka. Thailand, which also felt the earthquake and recorded 21 deaths, is calling for a joint statement on the disaster. Whilst international aid has begun to flow into Myanmar, ongoing civil war and poor infrastructure are complicating relief efforts. A temporary ceasefire was declared by the junta on Wednesday to expedite aid, but many rebel-held areas remain cut off. Tensions escalated earlier this week when troops opened fire at a Chinese Red Cross convoy delivering relief supplies. The military claims the convoy ignored signals to stop. The Myanmar leader is expected to hold talks with the Thai Prime Minister on the sidelines of the summit. Myanmar has been embroiled in a bloody civil war since the military coup of 2021. The ongoing conflict, combined with the earthquake, has plunged the nation into a deepening humanitarian crisis. Aid groups are calling on the junta to lift any remaining barriers to aid. The United Nations has also urged the international community to increase aid efforts before the monsoon season arrives next month. For now, Myanmar's struggle continues, both against natural disaster and man-made conflict. For News Central, I'm Afia Hagen.
Leaders have gathered in Samarkand, Uzbekistan for the EU Central Asia Summit, marking the first day with key bilateral talks. EU Commissioner President Ursula von der Leyen expressed gratitude to Uzbek President Shavkat Mirziyoyev, praising the region's openness and engagement during uncertain times. Von der Leyen also highlighted hopes for a significant boost in relations between the EU and Central Asia. This summit is part of the EU's broader strategy to strengthen ties with the region, which includes 5 former Soviet republics rich in natural resources and influenced by both Russia and China.
Our partnership does not need a new beginning, but it experiences today a big step up, grounded on a very strong friendship.
Bilaterally, certainly, President von der Leyen, we will develop, but I hope to welcome you in Brussels late this year to sign our immense partnership and cooperation agreement as a fruitful result of our talks during these days.
And that's all on Beyond the Continent this evening. Do remember that you may send your eyewitness reports to the WhatsApp number on your screens now. And do follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You may also watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, StarTimes channel 274, Avo TV, and on YouTube.